Hello and welcome to my Bioshock Infinite Undertow video. So Undertow is the 7th vigor you get. It's quite a strange one, as you can see here. It kind of blows enemies around. You can knock them off the cliff with it, which is quite good. However, it's very expensive to use, so the push ability, in my opinion, is just worse than Bucking Bronco because it costs way more than Bucking Bronco. So here's Bucking Bronco's cost. Here's Undertow. You can kind of see you can use 2 Bucking Broncos roughly for every Undertow. So if you want to knock an enemy off, you can Bucking Bronco them, then you can just shoot them with like a few shots from like a pea shooter and send them flying off a cliff. So that's just way more efficient in my opinion. The other use of Undertow is you can hold it in and pull a dude to you, which, as you kind of see here, isn't exactly the best thing. I mean, it's okay.
Much obliged.
But in a lot of situations, especially if you have a good ranged weapon, pulling an enemy to you isn't really that useful. I mean, you could always possess enemies at range. So I feel like Undertow, even though it has like some interesting things going for it, it's kind of like this like force-based thing. You can put water on enemies. It does combo well with Shock Jockey, but like even though it has some interesting things, I feel like it's overshadowed by other better vigors. And also you get it pretty late in the game before you can even make use of it. So the pull is kind of neat. So you can like pull snipers and other annoying enemies to you that are giving you trouble. But you can always just Shock Jockey and headshot something. So this is kind of how I would use it if I was, you know, running this. And it's not bad. I mean, it's pretty expensive to use. Oops. Let me learn how to headshot. Alright, so let's go over the 2 upgrades. The first one increases the range of the ability, so it has twice the range. By default, it has a pretty good range. The second upgrade allows you to pull in up to 3 enemies at a time. So it could be useful for pulling in multiple enemies towards you, like if you're running like a shotgun build, or if you're running like a volley gun build. My problem with this, though, is the fact that charge exists and is a little bit cheaper. Kind of overshadows Undertow, so I don't recommend running it. I don't recommend investing in it. It's expensive to use. It just doesn't seem to bring much to the table. If you want to cover distance gap for a short range build, Charge with Invincibility upgrade is much better. If you want to control enemies, Murder of Crows is much better. Shock Jockey is much better for the damage scaling. Bucking Bronco is much better for the cheap, like, spam Levitate. The Levitate can also be used to knock dudes off. Honestly, it just doesn't bring too much to the table for me to recommend running it. It's fun to use, and the effects look cool with water, and you can combine it with Shock Jockey to deal insane amounts of damage to enemies. But I personally don't find it to be super useful due to its costs. It's not bad though. Like it's kind of like a different form of crowd control, but I think other things do crowd control much better. So you can run it for fun, but I wouldn't like seriously invest in it. And you get it so late in the game anyways, you don't even really get to use it for that long. So yeah, it's an okay vigor, but there's better options. That's all I really have to say about this. There is no trap, as holding in the vigor button just kind of pulls dudes to you when you target a guy and release it. So the the default use pushes water, can knock dudes off, and then the other use can give you like water tentacles to pull dudes towards you. So that's pretty much it. That's Undertow.